in Edo State, where a shocking video showing the assault of veteran Nollywood filmmaker Don Pedro OBASEKI has generated mixed reactions on social media. The filmmaker, who is a cousin of former Edo State Governor Godwin OBASEKI, was attacked and paraded through Benin City over allegations that he insulted the Oba of Benin. Don Pedro had used the phrase Edo Otokbaye to salute a gathering of Edo people in London instead of the traditional Oba Atokbaye in respect to the king. Well, upon his return to Edo State, thugs loyal to the palace apprehended him and stripped him to his boxers, then paraded him approximately 5 kilometers to the palace gates to apologize to the king. Let's take a look.
Just squad the goal. What are the veterans? Where are the crowd? Pedro OBASEKI. Now I'm coming here now. Okay, this time I go.
This is shocking. Well, reactions online have been divided, with some citing Benin customs against disrespecting the Oba, while human rights lawyer Inibehe Effiong condemned the attack as thuggery. And I'll read Inibehe Effiong's post on X. He wrote, "We now live in a country where someone is publicly stripped, paraded publicly, forced to kneel and apologize publicly in front of a palace because he insulted the king. The Oba of Benin is a revered king. He has a responsibility to uphold the sanctity of not only his throne, but the dignity of his people, including the dignity of those who disagree with him or offend him. Humiliating a citizen in this manner does not bring glory to the palace or the king. It diminishes the prestige of the Oba and his throne. We should not allow thuggery to define the very respected crown of the Oba of Benin. If the Oba does not disavow this crude and primitive action, it will send a wrong and dangerous message. I do not know Don Pedro OBASEKI. I'm not familiar with whatever he may have said or done that offended some people. I don't care about the underlying politics, but no citizen should be humiliated in this manner. The police has a responsibility to act in this case. The culprits should be dealt with according to the law." Well, as for the Oba's side, he said not to have ordered the action, with one of the palace chiefs stating that the Oba was at Holy Arusa Church attending a Thanksgiving service to mark the end of the annual Igwe festival. The chief also urged the youths in the mob to avoid causing any trouble. The chief stated that we don't want any disturbance, adding that if anyone considers himself an enemy of the Oba, he should be left alone because time will reveal the outcome. Well, later on that Sunday evening, OBASEKI, Don Pedro, released a video where he narrated how he was abducted, beaten by thugs, and stripped.
I'm an OBASEKI, and this is not a beating of Pedro. It's as if there is a deliberate war against anybody who bears the name OBASEKI, and maybe I was the first victim in the line. But this must stop. So I'm going to press charges. I'm going to seek legal recompense. I don't understand this. My children are traumatized, my family, my wife, siblings. For me, who has elevated the culture of the Benin race in my 35 to 40 years as the pioneer of the present Nollywood, okay, Edo ya atokbe, Oba atokbe, because he's cybernetic. There is no king without subjects. Thank you.
All right, Ayo, I'm coming to you on the story. I believe, I read that the police had detained him for a couple of hours. In that same video, which he, shared with Arise News, he had commended the Commissioner of Police for his, action, intervention, and releasing him at that moment. But, I don't really understand how this can happen in our society. You were speaking so highly of Don Pedro OBASEKI just moments ago. A very notable filmmaker. Everybody knows who he is. Look at how they turned him into some sort of, I was so shocked when I saw this video. Really offended by it.
Everyone should be shocked. Everyone should be offended because it could happen to anybody.
Yes.
It could have been anyone if we're not Don Pedro or Pedro OBASEKI. What we're seeing is what can be described to or ascribed to as a state of anarchy, where citizens take matters into their own hands and tantamount to jungle justice with regards to, because of the fact that he made a statement that the people didn't agree with, and so they retaliated with a public show of shame, and the police detained him. I'm surprised because I'm wondering who the police ought to have detained. Should it not have been these tyrants, this young people, or this mob who had degraded him, humiliated him, just put him in this kind of situation? And then we see that, in fairness to the Commissioner of Police in Edo State, Pedro OBASEKI had said that while he was detained, he came to intervene to ask what happened, and then afterwards asked for him to be released. However, the silence of the governor is quite deafening. It's loud. We haven't heard anything from him. According to the Oba's Palace, who is a revered monarch in Benin City in Edo State, he said that it was, his supporters. The Oba didn't have a hand in this. But I do think that this should be condemned from the highest level because it sends a signal. And don't forget that it's not just the citizens we're talking about. We keep talking about investor confidence. We keep talking about perception. We keep talking about how people see things, how seriously people take our justice system, security or insecurity in the country. This does not speak well for security, for democracy in the nation, and for the process of justice in Nigeria. I believe he has said that he might sue. I hope he does.
Yes, that's what he said.
But even beyond that is that an investigation ought to be instituted, and everyone who is culpable should be brought to book based on this. Because like I said, and I emphasize this, it's Don Pedro OBASEKI today. If this state of anarchy continues, it can be you, it can be me, it can be anybody at all. And this should not be allowed to happen.
All right. Well, I know that everybody wants to speak on this story. So please, a minute each, because, the producer has cut my time. So go ahead.
That's why election matters. I will be surprised if the people that went to beat Don Pedro are brought to book. There are higher authorities that are in their favor. We see their faces. As at this morning, if the governor has not stepped in or ordered arrests, then there's a level of complicity in the state. Third point, Edo has become the home for barbarity under this administration. Was it not how they behaved when they were opening the Benin Museum, the Mowa Museum, that they went there, disrupted where international people were there, international investors? It has become the home for barbarity. We saw the faces of those that abducted Don Pedro.
Yes, we did.
If nobody picks up those people and they are in police custody today and they are cooling off their heels in police custody, then Edo is, I'm sorry, shall I use the word, finished with barbarity. Let's keep deceiving ourselves.
I read one of the comments, someone saying that every time bad news from Edo State.
As usual, now elections matter. Elections matter. Let's be careful.
I'll make my points very quickly. One, justice for Don Pedro OBASEKI.
Yes.
Nobody deserves to be treated in this manner in a free country. Two, he did not insult the Oba. He said, long live the Edo people, long live the Oba of Benin. How does that constitute an offense?
I think they said he only said, long live the Edo
No, I watched the video. He said both.
The second time was where he didn't say it at the gathering in London. That's
Okay.
the issue, yes.
Well,
he didn't say it at the gathering.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, even if he didn't, he has the freedom of expression.
Of expression,
What is
correct.
wrong in saying long live the Edo people?
That's what he said,
After all,
correct.
we say long live Nigeria. We don't say
Yes.
long live the president. Now, 3, I think it's important that he himself made the point that the chiefs handled the matter very well. And it was clear to him
Yes.
that, these were thugs doing their thing. It was not the Oba of Benin sending anybody to go and harass anybody. Number 4 is that, look, this matter should be looked into. And he also praised the Commissioner of Police, that he handled the matter well, and it was the Commissioner of Police that released him. 5, his security should be guaranteed.
All right.
6, Edo State should not become a place for thugs.
It is already.
The governor of Edo State must, look into this matter
Yes.
and ensure the protection of Don Pedro Obaseki.
All right, very
Finally, I give a teacher's testimonial. I taught his class in 1985-86, Western Drama, at the University of Benin, Ekenwa campus. And he was one of our good students. He was very responsible, diligent, and he proved it subsequently by excelling in later life. He not only got a PhD, he became a major filmmaker, one of the pioneers of Nollywood.
All right.
He's also a playwright,
Right.
author of Azagidi,
Yes.
Obaseki, and Idia.
Yes.
One of the icons of the Edo Kingdom who has tried to put Edo Kingdom on the map with his talent and creativity.
Very good.
He does not deserve to be treated in this manner.
Well said. Well said. Justice for Don Pedro Obaseki. Well, in Lagos, the city came alive over the weekend as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu joined thousands of residents for the grand finale of the Ayo Festival. At the Tafawa Balewa Square, the colorful celebration marked the return of the traditional parade after an 8-year break. The festival, which dates back to 1854, honored 4 distinguished Lagosians this year, including the president's late mother, Alhaja Abibatu Mogaji, former governors Mobolaji Johnson, Lateef Jakonde, and Sir Michael Otedola. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu called the celebration a cultural homecoming for the president. Let's take a look. Congratulations to Lagosians. This was a beautiful festival. Well, the beautiful Ayo Festival was marred by violence that erupted after hoodlums masquerading as Ayo participants were seen in several videos assaulting residents. In one particularly alarming video sequence, one of the hoodlums is seen wielding what appears to be a firearm, prompting panic among bystanders. Let's take a look.
Yeah!